Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning in again for another episode of Cutting Hair with Church. I'm here today at the Matrix Technical Centre in Sydney, and I'm super excited about sharing this haircut with you. My model today, Charity, came in earlier in the week and had a hair coloured by Philip. He's one of the technical educators here at Matrix Australia. He really needed some colouring, and yeah, amazing colour that he's done for me. I'm really looking forward to cutting it. We're going to do some bangs, we're going to do some layers, so it's a super exciting haircut. I'm going to get Charity, bring her in, and we're going to get started. Back from the basin, hair's been prepped. We're just going to use some of the Matrix Food for Soft oil. Don't need a lot, and I would recommend keeping it off the scalp. Rubbing it into your hands until it gets warm, and then we'll put that through the ends. And we'll get a nice soft brush, and then we'll be ready to start the haircut. Sectioning when cutting hair, period, is obviously very important, even more so when it comes to cutting fringes or bangs, because ultimately, the distribution of hair is what is going to make or break whether it works or not. So try and work with natural parting, but again, if someone's wearing their hair with a very deep side part, you may want to have a conversation whether this is suitable for them or not. So I'm trying to find where Charity's hair parts naturally, so you can see that there's probably a few places in there it'll work, and I'm going to take the one that's closest to the middle, so it's not in the middle, but a little bit less left side dominant, I guess you could say. We're going to work in a triangle section. I want to make sure that we don't go too wide. So with this, you can go as deep as you like. So the deeper you go, the more hair you'll have in the bangs. But you want to be very careful about how wide you go, because otherwise it's going to fall around here. And we actually, let me rephrase that. For me, I don't like to have bangs fall like more than 2/3 towards the end of the eyebrow. So I wouldn't want it to sit right out here. We want to go somewhere around in there. So I'll show you how you can see where that's going to sit. See when we push this in, it's probably going to sit around there, which is where we want it. We'll check the other side. Now when executing elements like fringes and bangs on wet hair, always allow yourself at least 1 centimetre for the hair to dry, and you can always adjust it because you don't want any surprises. And for me, the nicest place for bangs to fall are in between the eye and the eyebrow, or right on the eyebrow. If you're going for something quirky or the face shape you think may suit it, you can definitely do it shorter, but as a sort of commercial rule, we want to sort of keep it in that area. You take a vertical section through the middle, projecting the hair this way, and then I'm going to come around here and again, like I said, we're going to start with it longer. Once you've got the length in the middle, you bring the sides in, over directing the hair to the middle so that it falls longer to the sides. And I'm really just removing the length that I 100% absolutely know that I don't need at the moment. You should be able to see that the hair is falling longer towards the sides, which is what we want. Got a little bit of a cowlick in there, but nothing too scary. Like whenever we're layering hair, the further away from natural fall we project it, the softer it'll fall, and the closer we project it to natural fall, the heavier it'll fall. So we don't want this to be too wispy. That'll be spot on. Yep. Very good. You can see we've got our triangle where we've actually sectioned our bangs out. Now what we're going to do is at the top of that triangle, at the narrow part, we're going to section that to the back of the ear, because we need to take some hair out so that we can start to build our shape and our layering around the front, because working in sections like this just makes everything so much easier to follow. So now I've got a section of hair here, and we want to make sure that we've got the same on this side. So this is going to be our first section to create the guide for the rest of the shaping around the front. I'm going to cut myself a guideline first. We're going to do another triangle section which incorporates about 1 centimetre of hair on each side, and we're going to project this into layering, and this is going to be our guideline. Now this is a guesstimation, I've done this a lot. If you weren't sure where to do it, you can hold it up here. Where am I going to cut it? Where's it going to fall? So when we wear this back, I wanted to focus on, so we've got bangs for eyes, and then the first layer is for the cheeks, the lips and the chin. So I guessed it, but you probably should measure it out. So there it is there. And then when we comb this down, you can see here we've got the length that we need as a guideline. All right, let's work on the right hand side. Charity's left hand side, my right hand side first. Find our little guideline there. And then we're going to over direct the hair and project it to 90 degrees or above to retain the length. Projecting the hair, using our guideline to at least 90 degrees, over directing it to the retained length, and then we're cutting parallel with our fingers. Don't drop it, it's always easier if you don't drop it for your first section. And again, we're bringing the hair up, we're not sliding down. So this hair, actually the hair here at the temple needs to come up. And when I do this side, you'll see it better. We're actually lifting up, over directing. There's nothing there to cut because it's fallen out. And that's our guideline on that side. I'm going to take a little piece from our first section so that we've got a guideline. Again, projecting it at 90 degrees, over directing to retain length. Don't drop it. Pick this up, and this has to be lifted up and projected up to this point. So it's probably 90 degrees here, but here it's probably like 135. So that's something that's often confusing. We don't want to end up going like this, because then what happens is we cut all this hair off and there's no length left there, and that's not what we want to do. You cut people's corners off, they get upset. So we project the hair, over direct, find where our guideline is there. And let's have a look how that looks now. Should be able to see our shape forming there. See our layering in there. Once you've done that and you checked it and you're happy, all you need to do is bring everything to those points, cut on that design line until you run out of hair, and that's how you'll do the front. Shape in the front is done. One little side note is I'm cutting my foundation wet, but there will be some adjustments to be done when the hair's dry. So it's not the final shape yet. Refinement around the face and definitely the bangs will need to be done. But now we're going to do some increased layering. You can see I've taken quite a big panel through the side. I'm confident, and I've said many times, I'm confident in taking a big section like this, provided that I can control the hair and my scissor is sharp enough to cut through it accurately. Projecting it all from the side to 180 degrees, increase layering, and then I'm going to go from short to long. Projecting into the middle, 180 degrees, short to long. Now you can choose where you want to do this. I'm going to do it from here. You can see that's the layering in the front. We're going to there. And then from this section, we're going to repeat on this side. And we've already got a guide from the other side, so we can keep a hold of that if you can control it. And we bring it all into the middle, increasing the hair to the middle. What this does is it gives us short layering on the sides, and on the top, and we retain the length on the sides. Making sure we're projecting to the middle. You can see there, that's where it needs to be. And we'll do the texturizing and refining of this area when it's dry also. Now we're going to move on to the back. I've taken 3/4 of my last section and pulled it to the front. We don't need that, but I've left a little bit out because we're going to use that as a guide for the back of the haircut. So just sectioning this away. And then you can see here that we're going to be putting this into the back to use as a guideline. And same again, we're going to take quite a large section of hair. So this whole side and rear panel. We're going to project it horizontally first so that we can get it nice and accurately combed. I'm going to move to the side so that I can find my guideline, and there it is there. Again, projecting it at 180 degrees, increase layering. There's my guideline from the front. And then just taking about 1 centimetre of that for my guideline on the other side. Just leave that there. Take your time doing this. If you find it's a little bit knotty, because we are combing the hair forward, back, up, grab a nice soft brush, and it's always easier to get through, especially if you have a client who has really thick hair. Charity has a really nice amount of hair, actually not too much, but enough. Again, combing horizontally until we go to the side. I'll spin her back this way so you can see the projection. We've got a guideline there now. 180 degrees, back to the middle, and there's our guideline there. And that's the top of the rear done. Now that we've done the rear of the top of the hair, we need to actually address, because we want this to flow and have a little bit, actually you could leave it there. If you wanted a very soft, long layered look, you could leave it there, but we just want to take it, we want a little bit more movement and shape through here, because we're going to take the length to about there. We still want to have like layering in the hair. We don't want it to go missing. This is not editorial soft worn in seamless. This is actually, we want to see layering. So we're going to take a section straight through the middle. We should have a guideline very visible for us from the top. There it is there. So I'm just going to hold this. Now I'm going to rotate Charity to the side so you can see my projection. So you can see there's the guideline on the top that we did. So the back of the back of the top, yep. And now I'm going to shift my projection just down a little, not too much. I want to really gauge how much hair falls out there, because I want to grab it just before it does, and I'm going to go to there. So here's my guideline. That's the hair that I'm taking off. Easy enough. Now, similarly to what we did in the previous section, we're going to use that guide to cut the entire side of the back. Now, I like to project the hair to the middle, and this depends on hair density, but I just find because clearly people don't have hair growing out of the side of the neck or the ear, and we've got lots in the nape, if we follow this around, it could just make it a little bit too light on the ends. So I want to make sure that I've got enough fullness left in the ends so it doesn't look like it maybe has a hole in it. So we're projecting that again to the middle of my last section. There's my guideline there. Don't cut it all at once. Make sure you have the hair evenly spread over the plane of the comb. There it is there. And done. Taking that first section we did out again, and again repeating what we did at the back. Projecting to the rear, projecting the rear of the hair into the middle, looking for our guideline. There it is there, you can see. Perfect. And last but not least, we're going to bring it all in for one final check and bring it all together in the middle, making sure that we haven't missed any, and then we just need to trim the ends, but I'm going to do that when it's dry. So once I've done this, we're going to flat brush the hair. We're not going to manipulate it too much. I'm going to put some of the high amplify blow drying spray in. I'm going to just spin you this way so you can see that I'm making sure that I'm bringing it back to the middle before. And then just give it a shake so you can see now it's got just that little bit more layering in this area, and this is where we're going to cut it off here. So we've got volume, these are going to come up shorter, we've got layering through here, and we're taking the length off there. So I just blasted off, a little bit of refining, just a couple of places in the back. I wasn't actually quite happy how it was sitting. Had a little bit of a lump there, and when I went through, I saw that actually there was a little bit of a corner. So just smoothed that out. You can see we've got some nice layering in there, and I just sort of blasted off, smoothed it a little bit. Didn't want to over smooth it. It's going to look really good when Charity has her hair up. She's going to be able to pull some of these pieces out. It'd be cool when she like tucks it behind her ear and just has her bangs nice and soft. Always with Charity, I want to make sure we could see forehead coming through there, and we're going to put some layering. But I thought I might do a little twist on the styling as sort of like an alternative way you can wear it. let me do that, and then hopefully Charity likes her haircut. She hasn't seen it yet, because if you look ahead, you can see it.
Ooh. Gorgeous.
It's fun, yeah. Just finishing with some hair, sorry, it's now called Fixer Spray. Used to be called Hair Fixer. So you saw we just did it straight first, and I just think that, and I didn't want to make it curly either, just put a little bit of texture, a bit of movement in it. It's like, it doesn't really do the colour justice when it's all flat in one length and when it's straight. So by doing that, you get to see the layering and the shape in there, and you also get to see the depth of the colour in there, which Philip spent most of the day doing. So thanks, Philip. You guys saw a little cameo of Philip. He was kind enough to come in here and get Charity prep for me. Thanks once again, guys, for tuning in. If it's your first time, please make sure you go and bash the subscribe button, hit the like, and please share with someone you think might like to see this video. They either want their hair done this way or a younger hairdresser that maybe get a tip or two from seeing this video. And until next time, from me and Charity, see you later, mate.
Yeah, it needed it.
Right.
And it was that extra kind of dead length in the back. That's beautiful. I'll move it. Thank you.